Hey guys, Matt here, Broken Supercoach, checking in. So this episode's probably going to be called Delete Supercoach Now or something or like delete the app. This is horrendous. I didn't drop as far as I thought I would because I think the top scores probably weren't as good. But I've dropped a 21-22, which is pretty average, 50k for the round. Luckily, we've banked a few good scores, so we're still sitting around that 10k. Luckily, I've done a bit of copium. I've looked at last year. This time last year, I was sitting like 20k, so it's not the end of the world. You can always come back from here, but I reckon I had a lot better players on my list, and I had probably had a lot more trades than I do have right now, and I don't have some absolute duds sitting on my field. So let's have a look, okay? We'll do a quick review, and we can have a look. I'm beating people in the league. That's crazy. Um, so I used the boost last week, and I brought in Noah Anderson, who got tagged by the worst footy team you'll ever see, and who knows why they would tag anyone. I'm truly now worried about this pick, but I think he's pretty good. I think he's a pretty good player. He's putting out good stuff. Hard tag against the team that were trying to lose. So he ended up bringing it back to an 88. We're pretty happy with that. The other trade we did was Drury early. That looks absolutely horrendous, but luckily lots of people did that. So hopefully he holds, but far out 17 points is about as weak as it comes. And the third was Atkins, who is lucky to score 60. By the time I turned that game off because of how bad it was, that's right, no one watched it because it was on Friday night. So I wasn't staying up for that. And by the time when I turned it off, he was on about 18 at half time. So to pull 60, I'm actually pretty happy with. And the only other fail was that I was gonna loop Simpson in for Ashcroft. I was seeing if I should, and he scored 65, and I thought there's no way Ashcroft scores more than 70-ish, and he ended up scoring 97. So didn't get to use him, but it's just 30 points. So that's the least of my worries, honestly. My biggest worries is some of this other junk. So let's go through the list. Dawson, I thought, played really well. Really strange that he only got 89 points. I was at the game, so I wasn't really tracking it, but kind of shocked that he's only managed to pull that amount. Can you check stats on here? So he had one free against, but he's had 16 kicks, 5 tackles. I'm a little bit confused why he did. Just why he scored so low. That I thought he had a ripper game. He was probably second best on ground. So very unusual, the scoring there. But that's classic Supercoach scoring, isn't it? I bet you if you look, he's probably gone at what, less than 70% by ball or something. I've gone to teams here. I'm actually gonna do this I just want to know because that seems like such a low score for a bloke who was pretty good. Well, I'm just hang on. Gee, so he's gone at 60%. So they've given him a lot less, I guess, because he wasn't anywhere near the top players. But that's ridiculous. Like he's had 12 contested possessions and he's had 33 touches. Like that's a ridiculous score. Anyway, that's enough of that. Tom Stewart was good. Didn't loop him. I looped Anderson because I figured Anderson against West Coast would score 150, but didn't. Tom Stewart 115 was pretty good. He was the other loop choice. Yeah, Luke Ryan, I guess didn't need to do much because Sydney didn't trouble him too much. Out of the Sydney game came Goulden, who with Mills injured now. I don't know how long Mills is out, but it looks like I might have to actually grab Goulden after not grabbing him last week, which would kind of hurts my midfield depth, my final forward choices, but maybe not because you can. Sheasel's not in there, so I still needed two more anyway. Um, Zeeble, absolute seagull, loving him. Dacos, normal. I think people were down on Dacos because because he put out two pretty average scores, but hard tags. And I'm surprised that GWS didn't actually hard tag him. Maybe they don't do that anymore. I know under Leon Cameron they did, but maybe Kingsley doesn't believe in it. Who knows? But Sydney and Crows didn't know worked really well. But Dacos was back to his normal best. That said, Carlton will tag him. They tagged Bont, not very well, but they tagged Bont. They tagged Neil or Ashcroft coming both the week before, so they'll tag. So Dacos will be down again, probably not a captain's choice again this week. Chincotta, that's bizarre. Bloke averaging 70 odd just scores 30. You can't explain it. You just can't explain it why he did that badly. And Seamus Mitchell drops a 74 against Melbourne somehow. So I think we've done nothing for him. So a bit frustrating there. Still not going to fill that defense spot just yet, mostly because there's no one to actually trade. But that is what it is. So we ended up taking Oliver Captain, Anderson. Yeah, Laird went off. So these are the guys I want to talk about. Laird and Steele. This is dog shit by Steele. Sorry for the language there, but this is junk. So I went to the St Kilda game and I thought, all right, he's 2 weeks back. He's obviously he's not going to get tagged, but he got ran with. But a bloke like Jack Steele, it shouldn't matter if that Jake Saligo's running with you, or that Dawson is running. Like, he wasn't running with him; he'd just taken him on and beaten him. And Laird was just taking him on and beating him. And Saligo was doing a little bit of a run with job, but then he'd take him on and beat him. And who is this guy? This is not the Jack Steele that we saw the year before. And I'd hate to think that I don't want to say the bloke's cooked, but he's cooked. He is absolute dog water. I can't believe I fell for this pick. I mean, look at these numbers he put out. Sort of, other than this, I was probably a tag, but he's putting out good numbers even towards the end of early last year. And if we look at 2021, obviously he blew up in the second half of the year. So I don't know if he just takes the year off. Takes him the whole year to get footy ready. Subbed out, injured. I need to make a decision on what to do with him. Whether we settle for that type of junk and hope he comes good, or I don't know. I'm genuinely, if he's out, then I'm just going to trade him as a rage trade. Well, most definitely. So Laird, concussion protocols, was it, or did he get hit in the chest? I'm not quite sure whether he was actually injured or not. I guess, if it was HIA, they subbed him out because it was going to be 20 minutes and there was only 25 minutes of the game, so why not sub him out? I don't know, but scored 98. I'm a little bit worried about him now. Potentially he misses, so we'll keep him on, but potentially he misses if he was concussed. I actually haven't heard because I haven't really looked it up, so they'll clarify that, I guess, whether he plays or not. He's due for a rest anyway. Matt Crouch might come in for the Ballarat game. We'll see. Not a lot to talk about here other than that. Neil still scoring me hundreds. Thanks. Tom Green, got absolutely, they were extremely poor. Lost by 70 points, so what can you do? We'll take 97, and as long as he scores between 97 and 120, we're happy with that. We're pretty happy with all of this, except for this pick here, and, Laird's injured. That sucks. And then we got these two. Tracking along, his break-even's 85 now, so he probably needs to go Ashcroft, but we'll see. We've got Simpson tracking along nicely. Looks like a really nice field option. Just could loop him, but looks like a pretty handy field option. Whether he plays much more is a little bit of a worry, but he's played well enough, but we'll see. A little bit worried about that. Tim English was pretty weak. That game was just appalling. So he wasn't that good. Pitnet did a good job of, keeping him down. Does he score well against Carlton historically? Probably not, was the issue. He averages 125, which is actually low for him. So, if you look at, say, last year, how did he go against Pitnet last year? 99. So he's historically always beaten him pretty well. Didn't play against Carlton the year before. So, in one game sample size, because they didn't play him twice, it seems like Pitnet has his number, but we won't to know that because he has only played him once in 2 years. So that's all right. It's good to know. Is what it is. we'll take that. And Big Marsh, just doing Big Marsh things. 600k. If you went down to Gorn, that's unlucky. This guy looks like a king now. I'm happy with these two. I think Sean Darcy went crazy as well. So if you had Marshall and Darcy, you'd be pretty happy. But loving English. Yeah, Torano, absolute butcher by foot. Got a 90 because of it. There's not much to talk about with these guys. Sheasel was 68, and the question is, is it time for him to go? I know a lot have already traded him. The question of whether it's time to trade Sheasel or not is an interesting one because he's still 3 weeks out from his bye. We wanted that bye cover, but we might also want his money. Still got a nice break even. Playing Sydney at Marvel, so probably hold. Chandler looks like he's finished, and we currently probably have no forward line bench, assuming Drury gets dropped, because I can't see how Clarkson's happy with that. That's unless they've got no one else to play, that's really weak. So it's looking poor. Hopefully Noah Long's back. Maybe they can give us some forward bench. Maybe we can get Simpson down there when we trade Chandler, but it's not what we really want to do. Yeah, we probably could do that. Anyway, that's the review. Let's talk about what trades we're going to do. So I think there's a couple of rookies on the horizon, none that I really like, but you probably have to get one because you probably have to trade either... Well, you have to trade Chandler if you own him, so you probably have to trade Chandler. So you probably have to bring one in, probably Berry. Drury's obviously the other one if you don't own him. I now wish I didn't own him because he's not going to play. So there's not many. So if we just hit T on this bloke here, and we'll just have a look at the break evens. Yeah, Tom Berry, who I don't mind. I now wish I'd gone early on him, but I didn't. So that's the way it goes sometimes, isn't it? And he's got a nice buy. So if he keeps playing, that's quite handy. So let's just send this and we'll just see. Yeah, Harry Sharp was the other one who I actually kind of like as well. So pretty frustrating that I've gone early on the wrong one, considering the other two I really like. Is it worth boosting now to get both and a premium in? Or can you just do a double down? So the question is, Chandler goes, and who else do we have to go? Let's just say it's Ashcroft. So he goes. So you can go one up, one down, if you like that. The thing is that our money situation is just so tight that I'm a little bit concerned. But let's just say, all right, let's just say it's Harry Sharp. That gives me $650 to buy basically anyone. But I don't mind that at all. I would have liked to have got Petrarca, but that's okay. I can still get Goulden at $559. That's appalling. But if Mills is longer term, then that could be a really nice call. And then the other one is it is just Goulden, isn't it, for that sort of price? I really just thought there was one more guy I liked, but maybe there's not. Yeah, there really isn't, is there? It's just Goulden. Tim Kelly I kind of like at the moment. Considering he's the only one playing. Yeah, the other I really like Petrarca. So I really wanted him, but he's out of reach because he went so hard. But that's a bit of point chasing. Is a bit too expensive. So whether I just do this the wrong way and get Sarong's another one I like as well. So there's a few guys that I'm kind of thinking about. Goulden to shore it up, who can go anywhere. So let's have a look how the field looks firstly. Let's just say it is Goulden. And we'll just accept that we've paid way too much for him. So the question is, look, how does that field look? Not bad there. We can... Gold Coast I'm going to play every Friday, and assuming this bloke's never coming back. So we can loop these two again. We've got all of this here. That's quite nice. We can even choose to have Goulden in the mid, in the forward line if you want. The only issue is if Steele and Laird don't play, that don't pull up. Steel's the one I'm worried about, and I'm willing to boost to get rid of him if he's out. You only get 618, but I'll probably go something like Sarong, who has a reasonable round 12 bye. We don't mind the round 12 bye. I don't think we mind any buys, but during the week I'll show you guys my history, and buys are where I'm usually really good. So last year I think I went up 20,000 spots in the buy, and the year before same story. So I'm pretty. The buy is where you can make up all your points because people just grab, people just fill themselves with the best players, and they don't think about the fact that they've got you only get 18 playing each time. So if you get yourself 20 blokes who all play in round 14, all have a round 14 bye, and you only get to field, say, 15 players, and you have 4 zeros, then it doesn't matter that you had the best players during the year because you fielded 4 zeros in round 14. So you just have to remember that. So yeah, I was having a look at Tim Kelly because I don't mind him at all. He's very cheap. But it's Tim Kelly versus Goulden, and I'm leaking points now. And if Mills is out, it's key. Mills is out. But let's just say, yeah, Tim Kelly's the one I'd look at if it's Jack Steele, because again, I can't get Petrarca, who I would have really liked. Sarong's the other one. Bit worried about consistency. I don't like the idea of he's not scored under 100 all year, except for in round 1 where they got absolutely rolled. That's a really interesting. They've played the 3 easiest teams already, but 4 easiest teams already. Yeah. Anyway, we're not going to trade that as a fantasy. Nah, let's do it for the rage trade. Let's just get him out of the team, just for the rage trade. And we'll do it like that. All right, we won't do that. We'll do. There's no other forwards. Could we just get a 6th defender with no good defenders coming in? Is it time to just say if that's what I have to do if he's out? Yeah, the sick dog. Don't like it. Oh, we've got to like someone though, don't I? Sinclair's probably 65. See, I thought he played better than that too. I know he butchered it. He butchered it a lot as well, but I thought he played better than 65. That's a real surprise. Really low scoring. That's probably saved us. So probably Sicily, because he's going to do scores like this sometimes to really piss you off, but I don't think you're going to get him much cheaper than that, and he's got a break even of 114, so you probably could wait. But that's probably what I'd do. 6 defenders done. That really hurts that, though, doesn't it? So I don't want to have to trade Steele. And if I do, it's got to be for a mid. Realistically, it'll be Sarong, but I don't want to have to do that. I know I started this video saying that I was going to get rid of him and I didn't like him, but I can't. I don't have the trades. I just need him to come good in the second half of the year. He has to. He has to. But we're going to rage trade him anyway. So this is a piece of advice I'm going to give to your viewers if you've been watching this long and you've got this far on the video. Always do your rage trades. You can reverse them. It's all good. So someone like Steele pisses you off. Just say you had... Who'd you have this week? Steele. But just say you had someone like Taranto. You're really pissed off. You only scored 90. I don't know why, but I don't know why you'd want to trade him. Steele's probably a great example, but say you had Hopper this week and you wanted to keep him because you wanted to keep him through the buys. Just trade him. Trade him today. And then keep him out of your team for a few days. Really make him sweat. You got to treat it like it's real. So you got to treat it like it's on the field. So at the moment, he's out. Steele. He's out of my team. So mentally, that's got to affect him during the week. Right? He comes out to training, sees the team list. He's not on here anymore. So he trains harder, gets better. You bring him back in on the Friday, of course. I'll tell you what. That's the one That's the one I wanted to talk about before I go into this weird rant for too much. If Darcy Cameron is back this week, he's immediately in my team. Everyone in the game, everyone who's watched this channel for a while knows I love Darcy Cameron. So if he is back, he's immediately in my team. No Gordon. We're getting Darcy Cameron. Love him. Anyway, that's enough of that. What are we going to do? Captains wise, easiest fast captain of the year. Oliver on a Friday night. And probably back that up with probably taking that score, if I'm honest. But it would be something like, yeah, we don't have anyone against them. We don't have anyone here. Like, you can't even... How do you even know? I don't know. You take Dacos against Carlton, even though I said he's probably not a captain option. He's going to get tagged. Don't do this, by the way. Don't. I'm just going to take Oliver's score. So, because we have so few captain options, it's actually gross. Marshall against GWS. They're giving up ruck scores. All right. The big Marsh. Never plays 2 good games in a row. So, see? Never plays 2 good games in a row. So it's probably not him. Tim English never plays 2 bad games in a row. English against the Crows. Crows are mid against rucks. Historically doesn't score huge. But never plays 2 bad games in a row. But he could be in a bad bit of form. So, whatever. That's probably done me. Yeah. Anyway, see ya.